Hey guys, my name is James Walsh, and you are listening to the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. I want to thank you for finding us. Please do me a favor and click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. And if you get the chance on this video, click the like button. If you do, it'll turn blue. Check it out. Also, check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for all this great content available in MP3 format, our online store that'll keep us going free and clear, daily news updates, as well as all the information from the history of professional wrestling you could possibly ever want. Check out WrestlingEpicenter.com online right now. Without any delay, let's get to your interview here on the Wrestling Epicenter.
Welcome back to 3 Count Wrestling's main event. We are pleased and honored to be joined by the one and only, the king of Bada Bing, Diamond Dallas Page. DDP, how's it going?
Brother, I never had a bad day in my life. I have had plenty of sore ones, just bounced around that ring. And I've had a few bad moments, but I've never had a bad day in my life because I believe that positive energy breeds positive energy, and it's all what has manifested, what has happened in my life. Like nothing has happened by accident. Everything for me has happened by design.
Absolutely. Well, I hate to be, I know you'd like to talk about your book and then the DVD and your Yoga for Regular Guys DVD, but there is a bit of sad news we have to ask you about.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. Recently, Bam Bam Bigelow passed away, and you were part of probably one of my favorite tag teams in WCW, the Jersey Triad with him.
Yeah, that was a combination of guys. To me, that was the next Freebirds, and Michael was always, I'm a huge Michael P.S. Hayes fan and friend, and, to me, that's what that could have been if they would have just given us any kind of a push. Bam Bam, without question, is the best top 3 big men ever. Chris Canyon could do anything, but Bam Bam, most people, don't know that, we're both from New Jersey, but we're from the same, Ocean County, Monmouth County is really like one county, and we're both from the same area, Springsteen country. And, I known Bam Bam. You gotta say, when you say that, you gotta say Springsteen, Bon Jovi country. But I known Bam Bam since he was 18 years old, and I was running a club. He's 5 years younger than me. And my first big nightclub I got to run was a place called Club Xanadu in Asbury Park. And Bam Bam was legendary in high school. Because first of all, he was, state champion wrestler, but didn't get to wrestle senior year because he was too much of a badass. He got in fights with guys. He bit a guy's ear off. And here's this guy who's 300 pounds, 6'3". He moved like he was 120. He was amazing. And he was hanging with the Breed and all the biker gangs and stuff, like at 17. So, when he would come into this club that I had, and we both knew who each other was, and I'd always come up and say, hey, Bammer, because he was Bam Bam back then, and I'd just come up and say, bro, let's cause no trouble tonight, right? He'd be, come on, Paige, I wouldn't do that to you. And the Bam, I always took care. He never paid for a drink. His brother Toddy, it was a group of bars. He would just run from Xanadu to Stone Pony, there was 3 of them. I can't remember their names right now, but we'd all work our way back and forth, in the different, bars and having shots and drinking. We were just having a good time. But then Bam Bam, he took off. I didn't see him. And next thing I know, I'm hearing glimpses that he's, wrestling in, the WCW. What was it? That stuff in Texas. What was the letters?
WCCW?
Yeah. And he was down there and he was kicking ass, and next thing you know, I see him with Hulk getting the big rub from Hulk Hogan. I was like, oh my God, he blew up huge. And so Bam was the first one, to really come out. Me and him were the only 2 guys that made it to that level. Of course, Chris Candido, Jersey boy, but Bam made it to main event status, and he did it at a very, very young age. So, I mean, he was the beast from the East.
Wow. Well, do you have, if for those of us who never got to know him or got to talk to him, is there one like ultimate Bam Bam story that you can tell, that you can share with us that would give us a good idea of the kind of human being he was?
Well, I think the crazy, that wild badass guy that everybody saw, that's a no-brainer story. He was a great dad, man. I mean, he was a real family man. When him and his wife split up, it really hit him hard because he was he'd bring his kids to the show and stuff, and he was a gentle giant, and he really was. And it was fun to watch him get older for me because I knew what a real wild son of a bitch he was. As far as who he run with and what he did and what he was all about. But I watched as he got older, especially when he came to WCW. Now I'm in that main spot. He was so proud of me, because everybody said it was never going to happen for me. But I remember him calling me over a period of time when it was a point in my career where it looked like it was never going to happen. And he said, "Don't give up, D." He said, "Just keep on plowing. You got that thing." And he always used to say it to me, "You got that thing." And you had it in the nightclub business. They had never seen it. You got that same thing here. And he was like more of a, like a sort of a cheerleader for me, to keep me, and I'm Mr. Positive, and he cared, and that's why, I mean, it's not that I don't care, that I hate going when I find out that, Rick Rude died or, Kurt Hennig or, Big Boss Man, and not even Pillman. I wish I'd gone to Pillman's, put a little rest to that with me, but I didn't go to any of the funerals, man, because, just too depressing,
Mm-hmm.
But Bam Bam, I'm going to that one because, we were I just came from, I was just in New York, and I went to Atlanta, then Nashville, and I was heading back to L.A. because I had business there. I had to cancel it all because, I got to go. I got to go because, we were the Jersey Triad. We were the boys, and we go back way too far. We go back over almost 30 years.
Now, speaking of you being Mr. Positive, I know you got the Yoga for Regular Guys book and the DVD set out. Do you want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Well, it's really funny because Knobs, you all know who Knobs is. He's a
yes.
wild, crazy bastard anybody I've ever known. By the way, he's got a show. They're looking for, I think he's called a Trailer Park Justice or something. He's got his own show coming out where he's the judge. And we're talking about Bam Bam and just all the times and, things that we ain't going to talk about on the air. But me and him could. And he was just saying how what great spirits Bam was in and stuff. And that because him and Sags, Bam Bam and Sags, had a little Florida Championship Wrestling thing going on down there. And they had a TV and everything going on. So, that's why, really, it wasn't like he was down. He had a down spurt when he got, divorced and stuff, but he turned it around and he was on his way doing good. And, we're talking about Bam Bam and how much we'll miss him and everything and all the times we had on the road. And then Knob said to me, he goes, "So what's the deal with this yoga thing you're doing?" I said, "First of all, dude, I don't call it yoga." He goes, "Well, what do you call it?" I go, "YRG." He goes, "What's that stand for?" I said, "Yoga for Regular Guys." He started laughing. I said, "But, dude, the quickest way to get regular guys into doing any kind of yoga is change the name." And then I explained to him what it really is. And it's yoga meets old school calisthenics, push-ups, squats, crunches, done with slow motion burn movement, which yokes your heart rate up. Now, you also engage your muscles and creating your own resistance. So you literally, your legs are engaged, your glutes, your butt is engaged, like you're in the joint, and then you engage your arms and your hands. And as you're lifting, you're creating your own resistance, which jacks your heart rate up so you don't have to do cardio again. And Knobs goes, "Will it make me more flexible?" I said, "Dude, you're never going to have to do that stupid treadmill again." He's like, "Okay, I want to try it. So get knobs to even say, I want to try it was mind-blowing to me. And Bam and I had talked about it too, you know, when I came back. I went to the last time I'd seen Bam Bam, I was in Tampa where he was living, and Derek Brooks, Tampa Bay, is a really good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. I just gone down there to train Derek and Alex Smith, the tight end, and Chris Hoban in YRG. And we stayed for a game. And I took Bam Bam to the game with me, and Smokey, my buddy, wrote positive with Paige with me, and another friend of ours, Rich, who went there. And we had a great time. And then we went and had dinner, had a couple beers. That was the last time I actually saw him. But, you know, I would love to have, because that he was unbelievably flexible for a big man, especially
very agile.
As, you know, especially as beat up as his body was. Because, you know, remember, he'd been doing this stuff since he was a kid. And he was 45 years old. It took us wear and tear on him. But, you know, this is something I would have loved to have, you know, helped him through with it. But, you know, God's got different plans for different people, you know.
Hmm. Well, speaking of the YRG, a big part of that series is Kimberly Page, and we interviewed her last month. What's your status with her as a
we're not married.
Yeah.
We're not together like that, but we are best friends.
Okay.
And, you know, another book I'm writing is called Live Life at 90%. The concept is life's 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Now, when Kim and I broke up, that was devastating to me. And I don't care who knows it. You know, it really hit me hard. And, but she needed to step out on her own. She needed to, you know, I cast a big shadow. You know, it comes with the package. And, you know, she, at some point after so long, you know, she needed to step out on her own. And it was tough in the beginning, but as time went on, you know, there was a point where I just realized I was never going to love her any less than I did. And, I decided, let's fix our friendship. And we went back in, and, you know, when they say went back in, I mean, we started talking about it. And, you know, next thing you know, me and her are tighter probably now than we've ever been. And she's my partner in YRG. And, you know, she's doing great. She's done quite a few different infomercials since Spokesperson's 4. Mm-hmm. And she'll be a big part of this one, of course, especially since she owns it. She won't be doing anything that's in competition to us anymore. But because there really isn't anything that can compare to this anyway. But, you know, we got a great relationship. And when I was with Wesley Snipes in Namibia filming the movie that just finished called Gallow Walker, he'd met my girlfriend. And she is a beautiful black girl. Who's about, I guess, close to 6 foot. You see pictures on my site. Her name's Angela. And if you look at transformations on the YRG workout, you'll see where I helped take her with the workout from like 182 and almost 6 foot tall to 142. And she went from a size 13 to a size 5. And her and Kim get along great. And when I told people I was going to put them together because I wanted them to know each other, everyone said, "Are you nuts? You can't do that." I love when people tell me what I can't do. Really? Why can't I do that? Because you just can't do that. I said, well, watch me. And actually, I'll never forget, because in the beginning, of course, you know, they're women. They didn't like each other. You know, they never even met each other yet. They never even met each other. They didn't know how to like each other. They didn't know each other. And long story short is I ended up telling my massage therapist who worked on me and Kim, I said, you know what? When the time comes, I'm going to get Angie and Kim both in the video. And it's a year before it ever happened. And his name was April. He stopped massaging me for a moment. He looked up and he went, well, if anybody can pull it off, it's you. Today, the two of them are best friends. And when I was talking to Wesley, he had just met Angela. And he goes, man, she's beautiful. He goes, are you married? I said, no. I said, I used to be. I said, but now my ex-wife and I, we're best friends. He goes, really? He goes, no kidding. I go, yeah. And I go, and those two? I go, they're best friends. And he got that look like a German Shepherd will tilt his head, and he goes, you are the man.
Wow. Well, hey, speaking about that movie with Wesley Snipes in it, when's that going to be coming out?
I want to say maybe fall of next year, maybe. I hope so. Yeah, it's such a saga putting it together. It's really cool, though, man. It's sort of like Gala Walkers is like an old Sergio Leone type movie Western meets horror. Meets these cowboys who become undead, and it's pretty. It's got some really great scenes in it, I think. And the character I play, the role's only about as big as Billy Ray Snapper, but from Devil's Rejects. But everybody who watched that movie, that loves that movie, Devil's Rejects, loves Billy Ray Snapper. And me and Danny Trejo, who were the unholy two, we're the only ones who lived through that movie. So I'm hoping, because Rob Zombie put me over huge on the edition for Devil's Rejects, where the director's cut. He put me over huge, not just as as an actor, but as a character. And he wrote the foreword to Yoga for Regular Guys, the book. Where it starts out, yoga, give me an effing break. But then he puts it over huge because he did it. It's one of the reasons why he's in the shape that he's in today. And when you get a guy like Rob Zombie to do something with you, that's a pretty big. And he is one of the most down to earth, considering the crazy wacko stuff he writes. He writes some of the greatest dialogue, as a writer. It's amazing that I was reading Devil's Rejects and going, how is this his film he's ever done? I mean, it's amazing. It takes writers years and 40 scripts to get this kind of dialogue. And, but he's just very creative. But he's so centered and he's so grounded and down to earth. He just sent me an email apologizing to me for not getting back to me, because he's been smothered with the Halloween, coming up and, and all the other stuff he's got going. And I just want him to see Driftwood, that movie that I got with Tim Sullivan that we just did to New York City. If you go to MySpace /YRG workout, you can you can see the YRG stuff, and it'll take you to Driftwood. Because I don't know exactly how to get there, but I think it's MySpace /Driftwood movie. But I know you can get there through MySpace /YRG workout, and that'll take you to any of my other sites. But the story, it's not so horrific and gruesome in the reality of the horror that you're used to seeing, scary stuff like Jaws or whatever. That's a Jaws, Saw, because really the only place that Saw happens, and I hope it stays like this, is in the movie theater. All right. But the horror that happens in Driftwood, where I play an attitude adjustment guy who runs the camp, Captain Doug Kennedy, this does happen. And that's the horror that is within around of what Driftwood is. And kids do go to these camps because parents are, talked into it, if you will, because they think it's the best thing for their kid, or because they just can't handle their kid anymore. So they send them off to places like Driftwood. And it's by far the best work I have ever done on anything. So I'm really proud of it. And I got another movie coming out, I want to say February or March, called For the Horror. And this is all around doing YRG, Yoga for Regular Guys, bringing the DVDs, the book, 3 different workouts, and I'm putting together an infomercial as we speak, which will be tested out sometime in late April, May, and be ready to roll out in now in September. That's when the big YRG push. You guys wait for a year from now. You'll starting to hear YRG everywhere. 2 years from now, everyone will know what it is. Just like they knew what Taibo was.
Awesome. I look forward to that. I have to ask this question, and this is probably the most boneheaded question I'm going to ask this entire interview.
Make it your last one. Stop to walk in and do some YRG. Make it your last one.
Okay. Well, in 2005, you had probably one of the best matches of the year with Chris Kanyon, the other member of the Jersey Triad. Does the yoga help with your wrestling performance as well?
Oh, are you ribbon?
I told you it's the biggest bonehead question I've got today.
Okay. I got to stop there and just let this out. The bottom line is 1998. And you guys will notice, you remember I was on top of the world. I was unstoppable. And there was a period, somewhere between 98 and 99, somewhere in that period, where you just saw me disappear for a while. What has happened is I ruptured my L4 and L5 so badly that the doctor said my wrestling career was over. Now, I didn't take off till 1996. That's when my career started to go. 95, I got PWI's most improved wrestler. And if you look down at those lists of most improved wrestlers, 80% of the guys became top guys. 50% of them became world champions. So 95 was starting to go, but 96, my career took off. 97, 98, I was on smoking fire going to 99. So I ruptured that L4 and L5, and I had 3 doctors tell me my wrestling career was over. That's when Kim was coming to me saying to me, babe, you need to do yoga to heal your body, to help you heal your body. And I was like, yoga? I'm not going to do that crap. It's for sissies. It's not for me. Yeah, I was inflexible to the idea. Well, now it was all going to go away. The dreams I worked so hard for was going to go away. You got to remember, I didn't start till I was 35. I told my rotator cuff at 36, and they fired me. I came back and started my journey at 37. And to put that in perspective, the wrestler, I think, when you take them all, 10 years, over that 10-year period, who was the best? To me, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. To me. The bottom line is, Stevie retired at 37. I started at 37. So at 42 and a half, when they told me it was over, I thought, well, maybe it's time for me to adapt and check out this yoga. 3 weeks, I felt a significant difference in my body. Within 3 months, I was back in the ring. I think it was less than that. I was back in the ring at 42. They told me my wrestling career was over. At 43, I was the heavyweight champion of the world.
Wow.
So no one can tell me what I can and can't do. They can't tell me they're too old because I'm 50 now, and I can put my knees on my elbows and pick my right leg up in the air and my left leg up in the air and do a handstand and push up with a military press. Instead of doing one-arm push-ups like Sly does them, which is very impressive in Rocky, I do a 10-second one-arm push-up where you go down for 10, you hold for 10, and you push up for 10.
Damn.
Try that with 2 arms, never mind 1. I'm 50. I could go back in the ring tomorrow and tear the house down if I wanted to. I got 3 great matches left in me. I got 4 good ones, and the rest are just walking and talking. I'm going to do a couple independents, and they'll be just like that. But they'll be entertaining as hell. I just don't know when I'm going to do them, but I'm going to show what's possible at 50. But anytime you guys see me come out, whether it was with Chris Kanyon in 2005 or whenever I stepped out there and helped that TNA get in there, you never saw me miss a step.
No, we didn't.
With you and TNA anyway.
You and what?
I said, what happened with you and TNA? You just kind of.
It was just time for me to move on, and they didn't want to pay me as much money as I was getting paid. So, hey, baby, how are you?
Good.
How you
doing? Sure.
I'm doing a radio interview. No, I'm not going. I'm with my Chris. Going up to do a YRG workout right now in Atlanta. But what I was saying, it was, they didn't want to pay me the kind of money they were paying me. They're doing some cutbacks, and if I'm not making the money, then I ain't doing it. Because the bottom line is it's more important for me to put my foot in the air over someone's head when I'm talking to them and show them how core strength can really strengthen your body and take you to another level than it is for me to stick my foot up somebody's butt.
Alrighty, well,
Okay, guys?
okay, well, one final question. The internet's is a funny thing. There are wrestling fans who just constantly talk about their favorites, and they always seem to diss, like, people they don't like. And I guess the latest criticism from the internet crowd is that you, quote unquote, script your matches. I don't know. This is not my opinion. I'm just asking the question. Does it ever get to you when you hear a bunch of sexless nerds just whining about this stuff?
Literally, uncle. You know, I mean, if you knew how many people scripted what they were doing, all I scripted was what was the beginning, the middle, and the end. Know what we're going in the middle. You've got to improvise. And the bottom line is, great scripts are written and then performed as if they're not written. Long story short is that people who have a problem with anything I haven't done, and they want to concentrate on the negative of wherever that is at, I don't have time to think about that. I'm the most positive man alive. And I got too many people who do care, about, what I'm doing right now and what's happening and, how I can help their lives and take control and own their life than, worrying about petty, senseless BS,
Mm-hmm.
It's not even worth it.
Alrighty, well, once again, thank you for spending the time with us. It's been a real honor and pleasure. And if there's anything else you'd like to plug, right now is shameless plug time. Go ahead and plug away.
Well, the bottom line is just go to yrgworkout.com and check out what we got going over there. And, there's got some inspirational stuff on there as well as that my audiobook that's out in Sam's right now. Hold on a second. I thought you were teaching, sir. Okay, good. I'm going to run up there. Got that audio book at Sam's right now, and it actually has a teaser of a warm-up of YRG on it. So, if you get it there, you can get it at the site. You can get it there. So, that's what I got going, and trust me, it's changing the world one regular guy at a time.
Alrighty, well, once again, thank you for spending the time with us, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the future, and keep up the good work, sir.
All right, guys, it's been your pleasure.
Thank you, DDP. Have a good one, buddy.
See ya.
Bada bing. Hey guys, my name is James Walsh, and you are listening to the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. I want to thank you for finding us. Please do me a favor and click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. And if you get the chance on this video, click the like button. If you do, it'll turn blue. Check it out. Also, check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for all this great content available in MP3 format, our online store that'll keep us going free and clear, daily news updates, as well as all the information from the history of professional wrestling you could possibly ever want. Check out WrestlingEpicenter.com online right now. Without any delay, let's get to your interview here on the Wrestling Epicenter.